All right. I want to thank you guys for listening in, tuning into my YouTube channel. I want to come on here and, of course, always be open with my heart and transparent um, because I want to help you heal and I want to also help enlighten you as my journey of enlightenment has literally changed my whole life. Um, I want to talk today about the very reason why I took this journey. I took this journey to be better. I knew that I was called to be better. I knew that how I was showing up in life, I wasn't happy. And what I deeply mean by that is in the depths of my soul, I felt unaligned. And I felt very restless. And even as I talk about it, I can go back to that feeling that I had in my body of being disconnected and always feeling that I had to fix something externally. And there was so much internal baggage that I was carrying that I needed to release and heal from. But I didn't know that the internal baggage that I was carrying was really affecting the way that I was showing up and the way that my external world was showing up. And so I knew that in my spirit, I knew that I needed to change. I knew that something had to break, and I knew that God was the answer. So, in my coming to Jesus moment, I cried out to God and said, I need you to show me who I really am. Because all the things that I'm trying to fix in life and accomplish and all these different things, like as if I'm running around relentlessly like a monkey with his head cut off. And I have realized, because of the chaos that has happened and continues to happen internally in my life, and what has happened externally in my life, like a hurricane, like a tornado. God, I know those are not the things. I want you to show me, and I wanted to heal. So that was really just the conversation that I had with God, and a voice spoke back to me, and it was God, and spoke back to my conscious state and in my spirit and in my soul, that I heard a voice that used to be faint when I was before I was it was a voice that was familiar. I knew it was the voice of God. It was a voice that had always been with me, but I didn't always follow that voice. I oftentimes followed what I thought I had to follow. I followed a lot of my old belief patterns, and a lot of my showing up was externally. So what I mean by that is, for example, when I wanted to lose weight, I just went to Weight Watchers, but I never really lost the weight. When I went to, I'm sorry, correction, I would lose some weight, but then I would gain it back or gain back more. I got into real estate and thinking that would be the answer. Okay, well, they say real estate makes a lot of money, so let me get into real estate. And so I got into real estate, and that became more of a heartache because I kept trying to make all these deals. Like, I would get close to the deal. I did close one deal. And so I was just like relentlessly trying to make these things happen. And in my relationship as a mom, I was just trying to just do all the things in my relationship as a wife. I was just trying to check off the list of how I thought I had to show up. And so just in all the areas of my life, I was finding myself more and more more deeply engulfed in it, trying to fix that part of me, more deeply engulfed trying to fix those things. And it wasn't working. So I found myself falling on my knees and saying, God, like, show me who I am. What is it? Show me what my belief. I didn't really know at the time. But it initially, God had showed me in my encounter and cry that I had out to God was to show me who I was. Show me who I really am. And on that journey, when I had that encounter with God, it was as if my life had completely changed and nothing had happened yet. It literally felt as if my life had completely changed and nothing happened yet. Because I stepped into a realm that I never quite fully experienced and encountered personally. I've had glimpses of that being in that realm, in that state of consciousness, of being in that spirit realm. I know I've always had the gift of healing, the gift of seeing. When I was little, I could see things that others couldn't see. I've seen angels. I've seen spirits. I've seen things that I've always been in tune into the spirit realm. So I've had glimpses of it, but I wasn't fully tapped in until I had, like I said, that initial awakening and encounter that I had with God. And that's when God began telling me in my spirit, in my state of consciousness, this isn't who you really are. And I'm getting ready to show you who you really are. Because this isn't how you don't have to show up like this. Even though you think you have to show up like this, you don't have to show up like this. And there was many things that God also had shared with me. The layers that will fall off of me, how I was going to heal and not recognize who I was, that I was literally going to change in every area of my life, was going to heal. And I was so taken back by stepping into that realm, stepping into that state of consciousness, to being in that presence, to hear that. And so I went on the healing process, and I was guided to unpack a lot of the internal dialogue, a lot of my belief patterns, a lot of the fear that I had. I had so much fear. Fear of money, fear of love. Most importantly, fear of love. So much fear of love. So much fear of love. A lot of my life was rooted in fear. And I just, even how I had viewed God, all of that was changing right before my eyes. It was changing internally. And imagine, just imagine, like, you grow up a certain way and how you viewed yourself a certain way and certain belief patterns that you had, and just walking with the spirit within, the spirit of God within, walking with that and hearing the truth versus hearing what you used to listen to. Imagine walking out of that state of belief, walking out of those wounds, I walked out of so much of who I thought I was, the things that I believed about myself, a lot of the internal healing, so much healing that I did. And in the response to that was, I started losing physical weight. And I realized that for over 20 years that I had battled with my physical weight for so long, and that my physical weight was a byproduct of what I was carrying on the inside. And then when God took me on another journey, because remember, God had shared with me, Spirit had shared with me that I was getting ready to heal every part of me, every aspect of me. And so with that, not only that, God was showing me not only about love, not only about how I viewed myself, but really just awakening to really who the truth of who I really am, and how God really does see me, and those belief patterns and those subconscious fears. It was a lot. It was so much, but I'm here. And I'm here to share with you and walk the path and walk the journey with you. This is how I help people. So, if you've been following me, I lost, when I first started the journey, the highest I lost was 70 pounds. I had was guided to leave my trainer. That God had shared with me that my chapter was up as it related to that aspect of my life, and that it was really all about overall me internally, how I was showing up. When I went on that journey of focusing on my health and really just listening to God and unpacking a lot of the stuff that I was having, there was a part of my journey where I was focused so much on weight loss that I was losing sight of what it was that God wanted to really show me. And that was that the power that I had within myself, and to know that I was whole, and that I can really self-empowerment, and to show up authentically, and to be in alignment with who I truly am. And so when I was guided to let go of that part of that chapter in my life, of that healing journey of losing weight, I recognized that it wasn't so much about working out and counting all the calories and the even though that is a part of being in alignment. If you desire to have more energy, if you desire to be healthy, if you desire to lose weight, it wasn't so much about the logistics of everything. It wasn't so much about focusing on eating right. So much. It wasn't about so much anxiety of calorie counting and all that. That the answer inside of you was more about listening to the Holy Spirit within you, listening to that inner voice, and being in tune to what you are triggered by, being more in alignment with that. And so if you listen to that, your body will automatically align itself. And so many of us, including myself in the past, so many of us have tried to fix things externally. I know I have. Tried to fix things externally, and in fixing things externally, thinking that that's the way that's the way, or that's the answer to joy, or that's the answer to happiness, or that's the answer to your peace, or that's the answer to what your questions are. And like I said, I used to believe the same thing, but I recognize that I've been shown, Spirit has been showing me that is not the way. The answer, your inner voice lies with, the answer that you are seeking is already in you. God is already in you, living, breathing in you. And so when I really did come to the full, I wouldn't say full awareness, but I really stepped into the awareness of this when I started seeing my body physically change. And there was a part of the journey, the first 4 years of my journey, I recognize that, wait a minute, I'm focusing on my internal. And as I began focusing on the internal, releasing a lot of the internal weight, releasing what was said to me, releasing what I experienced, releasing the fear, God, releasing that lack mentality about money, releasing a lot of the beliefs, a lot of the upbringing beliefs that I had about that was rooted in fear. As I began doing that, I recognized that I was coddling less with potato chips, coddling less and binging on food, and wanting to eat more whole. And as I began eating more whole, like more whole foods, and not drowning myself in alcohol. I wasn't really an alcohol drinker, but I mean like drowning myself in things, in food, drowning myself in just, in the emotionally eating. I noticed that when I stopped being numb and I started awakening, it was like my body was started releasing as I began getting more into alignment, listening to myself, trusting myself, letting go of the fear, letting go of what was said to me, letting go of how I believed about myself, and saying to myself, I think I want to start walking more. It just, my intuitive guide was just like, I think I want to join a gym. No, I don't think I want to show up that way. That's not the best way. And even on the journey, I also learned so much about love, because that's at the heart and the root of my whole journey, is about love, and what love really is. And it really is God's love. Like, God's love is the love that we have in us. It's just so much of what the world has shown us and how we have been raised, and to believe what love really is when it actually isn't. There is so much on the inside of you. There's so much truth. There's so much that wants to birth on the inside of you, and it already lives within you. It's just that a lot of things sometimes are locked because of our fear, because of how we believe about ourselves. A lot of things energetically in our field is locked or is blocked because of the baggage and stuff that we're carrying internally. We are spiritual beings, and everything is on an energy base before things you see in the tangible. Okay? So once again, you may want to rewind that and listen to that again. But as I began doing, like I said, my weight loss journey was not about my weight loss. When I started doing the internal listening and releasing and really understanding fear, I coach people and helping people understand fear. You definitely can, reach out to me if you want coaching on that, because ultimately it is about awakening to the truth of who you really are, awakening to the power, the Spirit of God that lives on the inside of you. And that has been the amazing thing that I'm so grateful that I've walked through. Extremely grateful. Extremely, extremely, extremely grateful. Extremely grateful. Jesus said that came that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly. And that's what God wants you to have, is that life, and have that more abundantly. That life that lives in you, that life source that lives in you, to have it more abundantly. I'm so grateful that I didn't give up. I'm so grateful that I see the Spirit of God in me. I'm so grateful to have awaken to this truth. Thank you for allowing me to share this message with you. If you know someone that would love to hear this message or would like to share, go ahead and click like and share this message. But thank you for letting me share this with you. That's all I have, and I will see you another time.